back with another episode of Real Life Movie Talk. It is your boy Chris.
Blockbuster Ben.
John, Ageless Wonder.
Yeah. We have a guest returning for the third time this week here. Adam, my brother Adam.
Happy to be here.
Yep, welcome.
I'm just happy to be here.
Almost as many times I've been on this show.
Not now. Yeah, not now. Been here.
But you got the podcast, so
that's true.
that offsets.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
That's true.
Yep, that's true. So what's up, fellas? What's good? Anything new and exciting?
I watched that entire series John recommended.
Did you watch it all?
It's called Untouched. The Touched.
The Nevers.
It's called The Nevers.
Nevers.
Yep.
Did you pay
Never
attention?
been touched.
I watched all 7 episodes. The last episode.
Six. Okay.
The last episode threw me for a loop.
It's crazy, right?
I went halfway through and I was like, am I on the right show?
Right.
But then it finished it off and I was like,
I told you.
it's awesome.
It's really
It's
good,
a
right?
great show.
Yeah.
You gotta catch up? Damn.
Yeah.
Still behind.
And I saw the scene you were talking about.
Okay.
The crazy lady.
Where I told you they write her crazy. I don't know who writes her crazy, but there's a specific scene that you're.
I know who you're talking about now.
Yeah, yeah. But there's a scene. So I was comparing her to. Have you seen The Nevers?
Mm-hmm. But you can spoil it. I don't care.
There's a woman. I won't spoil it that way because he hasn't seen the scene.
Yeah.
But there are a group of women who all have like powers of some sort. And this one, she's like super strong.
Okay.
And
yeah.
She gets powerful off of her pain.
Yeah.
pain
And
makes her
slash
strong.
anger. Yeah.
Like a Black Panther suit.
But she's also like off a little bit.
Yeah.
And
Her
her.
Harley Quinn stuff.
Yeah. Okay. That's a perfect.
That's what
perfect
we're talking
scene.
about.
Words.
Metaphor.
Similarity.
Similarity.
That's similarity that I'm talking about. I compared some of Harley Quinn's dialect to this girl's because
Right.
there is a specific scene where she's sitting in this windowsill and her crazy is like,
Okay.
wow, that is good.
She is very well written.
Yeah.
I've only seen 2 episodes, but again, when
Well,
she's
first
on,
two, she's great too.
when she's
Yeah,
on screen,
she's great the whole time.
Yeah, when she's on screen, I mean, she steals it. Like
Yeah.
she's really good.
Yeah, she's very prominent throughout the series. I would suggest it. It's very good.
Josh Whedon.
Nevers.
The Nevers, yeah. It's on
Josh-
HBO
Yeah,
Max.
Josh Whedon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just call yourself Josh, man. Stop it. Whedon, whatever.
Um,
He's the Avengers guy,
Glad you
right?
watched.
Yeah. Yes. No. Well, the first one, Firefly, he did, and he was the one that screwed up Justice League too. Like the Justice League movie. They're the one. That's the person that they brought in after Snyder had to step away. Yeah.
I've watched nothing.
Did you guys see the Spider-Man trailer?
That's the only thing that I've watched other than the movie this week.
Yes, I did. Didn't they say they weren't going to drop a trailer for that? What movie's
Oh,
coming
man,
out
you
where
got
they
it.
said we're not dropping any trailers?
It might have been that one actually.
Man, what the?
Freak.
Yeah.
I would have went and saw it anyway. You should have just no trailer.
I know, dude. They could have no trailered it, and that would have been insane.
Now, more people
Yeah.
may have seen it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
To not if there
Yeah.
wasn't a
Yeah,
trailer.
Like, I have to go see this movie now.
Yeah.
I mean, most times now movies don't even live up to the trailer.
Yeah.
Used to be a trailer wouldn't do a movie
Right.
justice. Now movies don't do a trailer.
Or
justice.
even worse, when the whole movie is in the trailer.
Yeah,
That's what it
that's
is.
what I'm saying. Like you watch, and it's like,
I just
okay,
seen it,
I
right.
saw that.
Right. I saw the whole. Every good part of the movie was in the trailer. You have ruined it.
Yeah.
Thanks for that.
Yeah.
What it doesn't need is comedy. Trailers do not need comedy.
Keep
Why-
the jokes
Yeah.
close to the chest.
Well, I
yeah.
think it's okay if they slip 1 or 2, but when they start putting all the big
Yeah.
jokes
Yeah,
in,
the
that's when it's like,
haymakers.
I like when they do them and then they put that one liner at the very end. Like it'll cut to like
Yeah.
WB or whatever the production company is, and then it'll cut back to a scene, and then it's like a one joke. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Just to leave that little
Yeah.
memory. You know, that little memory in there.
But when I watch a trailer, I want to remember liking it and wanting to see the movie without remembering why I liked it.
Right,
and wanted
yeah.
to see the movie.
I mean, there's a lot. I've already forgotten about the trailer, other than like the big thing at the end. You know, like that's the one. You know, hello pizza. I love that. You know, but other than that, it's like, you know, I'm ready to just see that movie. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And we still got Shang-Chi and the Eternals in between. So I personally, I wouldn't go looking for the trailer again. But when when you go see a movie, it's going to be in front of every
course.
movie leading up to it coming out. So I'll see more again. But you know, I thought it was awesome. Well, I watched that like 20 minutes after it dropped. I think I was like, I saw the news and I was like, whoo, let's get after it.
Yeah, it was good. It was
Where's your
good.
popcorn?
It's exciting.
He said no popcorn. He said
No
no popcorn.
popcorn.
Yep. So that segue.
I wasn't about to run out and buy a bucket just for me. So
Yeah.
I actually have one of these in my car.
Yeah, you got 2 of each, right?
Yeah, I was gonna bring
A
it.
bunch
but
of
I
things
forgot.
we could use as buckets.
That's all right.
Yeah. So beer and popcorn. We got EC Pops on deck. This is their Tutti Frutti flavor.
It looks like Fruit Loops.
It supposed to taste like Skittles. It's like all their different fruit flavors kind of thrown into a bag.
And they have that Skittles challenge on the internet now,
What's the Skittles?
where it's like you put popcorn in a pot with Skittles and then it bursts into like rainbow flavor. It doesn't work, but that's what it showed as a viral
Charging your
video.
phone in a microwave.
And it became like a
Drawing
a
the
viral
phone in
video.
microwave.
Is that a thing?
It became like a viral video. I wonder if this was sort of the inspiration.
You know what? It tastes more like Fruity Pebbles to me
Get your hand
than
in a little bit.
Skittles. If I'm
Good?
being honest, yeah.
Get your couple.
Is it good though? Alright, I'll try.
It's worth a couple. Yeah,
I'll try.
it's definitely good.
One and
It's
a couple
sweet.
different
It's
flavors.
like
Very unique.
it's candy. It tastes like it's like candy. It's stick. Yeah.
Yeah, it's sticky.
I will not eat any more of that.
You don't like it?
Nope.
Yeah.
Not even a
Not
little
a
bit.
fan.
I mean,
I don't hate it, but
I don't hate it, but
I wouldn't buy it.
this is not one that I would buy.
kids will probably like that.
Kids would definitely like this.
I don't really like sweet candy like that.
Oh,
I'm
really?
more of a chocolate.
Chocolate guy.
I do like some Laffy
One of them is
Taffies.
good. One of these flavors.
Maybe that, I don't know, something that.
Dude, one of the flavors I hate.
I tried the purple before this started, and I hated the purple. But I don't like purple much of anything.
Might be
I
like
like
the
the purple.
pink.
I don't like purple Skittles. I don't like grape. Was it not
The
now?
Ravens,
Penguins.
Penguins.
Purple penguins.
No.
That was my mascot in high school.
Yeah.
I mean, there are some things that like I wouldn't buy, but if they were out, I'd eat them. This isn't one. Like if I was somewhere and this was just out, I'd be like, "You got anything out?" Like,
Yeah.
take a cracker, you know.
Kids will love this shit.
Fuck
That's
yes,
that's true. And I got you know what? In a year,
So will dental offices.
Yes, exactly.
yeah.
Floss.
In the year that we've been doing this, year and some change that we've been doing this now. This is the first one where I'm kind of just like, all the other flavors
Yeah.
have been great.
It's just something that we wouldn't eat.
Yeah, it's not something I'd eat. But like Chris said, I definitely think kids will dig on this, and
I mean, you could give this out for Halloween.
you're
I mean,
good.
it would-
They do have small bags too.
That would be
not
a
like
hit,
the size
but-
bags that we get. They have like small bags of popcorn you can get too.
Right.
We guys
So
drinking?
it's like, this is Pacifico. Never had it before.
I think it's
just
pretty
in
good
my
beer.
fridge.
I was gonna say, did you just find that somewhere?
Yeah, I think
No
it's.
shot, you'd have bought
I
that.
think it's Norman's.
Thanks, Norman.
Thanks, Norman.
Mexican. Yeah. That's a. I like that beer.
Standard.
You want one?
No, I'm good. I got two of these.
A goddamn fridge. Something happened with my fridge coil, so I had to
Yeah.
drink these out of there.
And you had to drink. That was a hard GD.
Oh yeah, I don't mind. I'm getting drunk tonight.
I got the Manor Hill. Back with the Manor Hill. Got two of these left. Paper parasols, pina colada. Paper parasols.
so many peas.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Piss poor preparation.
I'm not drinking. I have a Celsius energy drink.
You better not sit that one time. You say you're not drinking.
So non-American.
Call it what you will.
Get
What's
yourself,
non-American?
get yourself a Fahrenheit
Or no duels.
energy drink.
Oh,
No.
No, this is
Fair
one
enough.
that he told me to get. I was gonna get. Like I like Bangs and I like the ad shop ones, but these weren't special. It's like Celsius are good, so I was like, all right, I'll try one.
do you like it?
Yeah, it's not bad. I don't like for being.
Is it like a different temperature than you were expecting?
Yeah, they do it in Celsius instead of Fahrenheit, so I can't.
Confused.
I can't do the conversion.
I did.
Actually,
So
I can. It's like plus 32 divided by 2 or something.
they're supposed to be healthier than like the Bangs
Sure.
and monsters and stuff.
Plus
like that.
32 times 2.
We're still doing that.
Well, I realized I said it wrong, and for our viewers who are,
Yeah.
they're sticklers for math, so
Yeah.
I want to make sure I got that right.
True.
But no, it's all right. I mean, no high fructose corn syrup, no aspartame, no preservatives.
Whatever.
7 essential vitamins. I mean, it's practically a health supplement. 10 calories, 2 grams of carbs, and no sugar. All right,
Perfect. Yeah, you're in, locked in.
let's do it.
You guys kind of talked about what you've been watching. I watched a lot of westerns this week, leading into
Hopefully it helps you.
I don't know. They're just ones that I wanted to see. I went over to Buddy's house last weekend. He put on this old like spaghetti western that he wanted me to see.
Did you guys dress up like cowboys?
We did not.
What?
Yeah, I don't know. Why would we do that just to watch a movie?
I don't know. Why wouldn't you do that?
Do you guys dress up like characters in movies
I
before
wore
you
a
watch
Darth
them?
Vader onesie to Star Wars.
Okay, we watched it at his house. I didn't
Even
bring
better.
I
And
didn't,
nobody
I didn't
can
bring
touch you.
I didn't bring my cowboy gear
I mean,
in the
if you're
trunk.
gonna, if
Came
you're
over
gonna
with
do
two
it, do
Nerf
it all
guns.
like,
I
Yeah.
might have.
Can you buy cap guns anymore?
I'm your
we
Huckleberry.
had, we had the revolvers growing
Ah
up.
man, I missed those.
Yeah.
Oh, they were
God, the
fun.
ambiance of that.
But that's it. That's it for me. Watching.
I guess we'll find out later what your favorite was because we have to draft them.
The favorite of the ones I didn't watch my favorite. I just watched some ones that I wanted like refreshers.
You gonna draft any of the ones you just watched?
Possibly.
Alright.
Yeah. Might be.
Mention it.
Mention
I
what?
haven't
If you
started
draft
looking.
it, say this is one we watched.
This is one I watched. Okay.
We'll be doing these as we go.
Yep. But before the draft, we can get to this movie review, right?
Yes.
Wanna do a little
Reminiscence.
little movie review action. Yep.
Reminiscence.
Reminiscence.
Hugh Jackman.
Brand new 2021, just came out on
I got
just came out on HBO Max and in theaters, so you can go see it out if you'd like, or sit on the couch. Watch
We've
it.
been going to the theaters a lot, so
We did not this time.
yeah, I'm glad we got a chance to not go to the theater.
It's only on
Yeah.
HBO till like mid-September, I think, for the initial
Yeah.
release.
That's what they've been doing with all of them.
like a month or something.
Yeah. Rated PG-13, hour and 56 minutes. Written and directed by Lisa Joy, who
We're gonna have a
is
laugh.
I know what I'm.
one of the co-creators of the TV show Westworld.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's
yeah.
the girl in it. Was from Westworld.
A couple people were. Yeah. So she
May.
she is
Always
married to Jonathan Nolan, who was also a co-creator of Westworld, and he is the brother
Christopher
Nolan.
Nolan.
Yeah.
So
So
many
when you trace that back, it's like
Yeah, you
this
borrow,
movie kind of makes sense.
you borrow Inception's
Yeah.
plot from your brother.
Yeah.
It's fine.
And speaking of the plot,
The
would you
more
like
you know.
to do the plot this week? Because I'm like, how do you want to describe this bad boy?
Yeah, so it's sort of post-apocalyptic.
Apocalyptic.
Apocalyptic.
That's it.
Bunch of you POSs littered till the world fought back and
Uh-huh.
flooded the East Coast. And essentially a big war broke out. Obviously, people don't like each other.
Yep.
Welcome to America. And then,
I don't think that's limited to America.
But
Well,
yes.
yeah, I don't speak other languages, so I don't know what they be saying. And then this guy came up with a technology, I don't know who invented it, they probably said, but I don't remember, that lets you live in the past, a better time as it were.
It was an interrogation thing, like during the war, didn't he say?
I think you're right.
It was interrogation.
Like it was the tank was
Be-
developed during the war
because
as an
the-
interrogation.
Yeah,
tank.
originally
And
as an interrogation.
Yeah,
Yep.
They still
but he modified.
They
it
still
into
use it as mainly for interrogation, but he started a side business doing this to allow people to see some of the past.
Yeah, it allows people to live out their like
Yeah.
favorite moments in their past.
Yeah.
in like vivid detail.
But he also uses it to help the the prosecutors.
Yep, you can
convict-
get warrants to
Yeah.
check people's memories, which is kind of a cool
That was
concept.
It is a
interesting.
cool-
And
That was interesting.
it's crazy. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
It's crazy too because the mediator can actually dictate
Yeah.
your. I'll get into what that whole part, but the mediator kind of dictates
Yes.
their memory.
what
Yes.
you can look at.
Yeah.
What,
It's all covered under warrants, which like you said, is a really cool concept.
Yeah,
Which-
it's neat.
I'm glad they did that because that was one of the gripes I had with Minority Report, if you remember that movie. So, like, I'm glad that they at least included, like, okay, you have to have a warrant, you can only search for these things for such and such amount of time.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Which is another similar story, except
That's
Minority
okay.
Report goes to the future, right?
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, but to me, this is like, Inception meets Minority
Right.
Report was kind of what
Yeah,
this
yeah,
movie
it's
felt
the,
like to me.
it's the reverse of it.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Instead of pre-crime, it's searching.
That's kind of a good way to mash it up. Like that's good.
And
I mean, it's kind of what it is.
Yeah.
It's the
The
inception.
movie
of Minority
addresses
Yeah.
the movie addresses a lot of people's vices, how they cope. They talk about drug addiction. There's futuristic drugs that are real bad. There's a person that deals with it through alcohol, and there's a bunch of people that just get addicted to going back and reliving their best moments.
Yeah.
And obviously, there's consequences. You can get stuck in that moment forever, and it can mess up your border between reality and the actual memory itself. But all in all, a girl that the main character starts dating goes missing, and he is just not okay with that.
Yeah,
So
you can't let it go.
he wants to know why.
Yep. Stars Hugh Jackman, who everybody knows as the Wolverine. Rebecca Ferguson is the girl that goes missing, who's from the Mission Impossible the later Mission Impossible installments. I love. Hugh Jackman's partner in the movie is played by Thandiwe Newton. Her name's Emily Watts Sanders. She's from Westworld and other things.
She was in a Mission Impossible too, wasn't she?
The
I
second
think she did
one.
the second one,
Yep. One of the main Cliff Curtis is in it. He plays one of the main bad guys, and then Daniel Wu is also in one of the other bad guys. They're from various things. But
He's Asian.
Daniel Wu, yes, very Asian.
Thank you.
I enjoyed it. I didn't think it was great, but I also didn't think it was bad. I thought it was all right. It was kind of right down the middle for me. I thought it was okay. Things I didn't like, things I liked, things I maybe would have done different. I don't know. I'm all over the place.
I do feel like there's a lot of things that could have been done differently to benefit the movie, but
Yeah.
overall, I enjoyed it. I liked the watch. I thought it was quick. I didn't hate the dialogue, and it was new. Yes, it's a relive story, and a lot of things in it have been pulled from storylines previous, but the setting was cool to your point.
Yep.
How they had to maneuver through the new world, and just I enjoyed that type of stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll just piggyback right on there. It was interesting, but and again, it's a movie that other movies have been, but every movie is a movie that other movies have been at this point.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really really hard to write a movie like Inception. You know what I mean? It's and which again we've compared this to. It's very very similar to Inception, except what you're going to somebody's memories versus their current state of mind versus what the movie just
Pre-crime.
Minority
versus
Report.
Minority Report to their future actions. It's all good, digging into somebody's brain. So it's similar concepts. I mean, every movie is going to be written off of another movie, essentially.
But just throw to that real quick. If you took this movie and you put it out before Minority Report, do you like it more, or before Inception?
If it's the first of the of that kind of idea, that 3-phase idea, yeah, probably.
It's interesting, right?
Yeah.
Because you think about, does the originality of the movie matter? Or over time,
for sure.
is it face to face? Because there's a lot of rewrites that I like more than the original. So that concept in general is
It's
interesting.
like, hey, here's this V8 American sports car, and Chevy did it first, and then Ford does it, and then this, like, they're all cool, but the company that did it first is the backbone of that idea.
Yeah.
I understand that. I understand what you're saying. It's
Yeah.
just,
I mean, I thought it was neat. I thought it was definitely it's another look. It's like an angle of anything. It's another look at it. I thought it was a neat concept.
I liked it.
Go ahead.
Well, first I'll say I'm surprised you didn't like it more because I know how much of a heist fan you are, and this is kind of like a mind heist in some ways. But
I didn't look at it like that. I don't know why I didn't make that connection.
that's what that's kind of what, like, to me, that's what they were doing. Like,
That's
basically
cool.
you're stealing.
I just
I
didn't make that connection. Yeah.
I didn't particularly care for it. I'll just say it outright. I hadn't even heard of it. Like, it popped up in my HBO, and I just scrolled past it because I didn't care.
Right.
And then, like, he mentioned last night, he kind of gave me the broad strokes of what it was about, and I was like, oh, okay. It sounded terrible to me. And then, like, the movie started, and, like, you come in over Miami, and you see the streets of water, and I'm like, okay, this is kind of visually stunning. Maybe this will be all right. Within 15 minutes, they lost me. And honestly, like, I'll just say, not to jump to the scoring and everything, but after about 20 or 30 minutes, I finished it, but I didn't want to.
You wouldn't have.
Like, I would, and I was talking to a coworker of mine. If it wasn't for this show, I wouldn't have finished it. I
we
found
have movies like that,
myself.
Just had one like that.
Yeah, I found myself. I don't care. I didn't care about what happened to any of the characters. Like, none of them particularly interested me. I didn't find any of their stories particularly
I
fascinating.
get that. There was no draw on this.
Yeah, it was just, and to me, you said it was a quick watch. To me, it just kind of dragged. It was like, okay, can we pick up the pace? I found myself constantly like hitting the down button to see how much longer I have to go. Like, how much more is this? Like, I texted him about 45 minutes to an hour. I'm like, all right, I'm watching it.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, there
Don't
again.
watch your watch. It's
Oh,
clicking.
oh, sorry.
Yeah, it's definitely hearing every time that hits the
Like,
bar.
just be careful.
Because I've smacked my ring, and like you'll hear my
those
ring.
high decibel.
Yeah, you'll hear my ring every time. I mean, like, I don't know. We're kind of hitting all the points here. That my favorite thing about it was, I think, the way it looked.
Yeah.
Like the
filming.
the cinematography, like just the way that I thought the concept of being in flooded Miami was cool. Like how you navigate this city now that it's completely underwater. I thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah.
I thought the memory thing was kind of a side note.
Yeah.
I didn't even think that was the plot of the story. For me, what I was so intrigued about, it felt like there could be a big twist at any moment. We'll talk about that later.
Yep.
But also, it felt like a futuristic version of an old detective movie.
Yeah.
Like a Dick Tracy trying to solve his own mystery with the cops, and then filmed in the future. And I was like, well, that's kind of cool.
Max Payne.
It's funny you say that because I was looking at some reviews and they were kind of comparing it to The Mountain Falcon with Humphrey Bogart, and that kind of like film noir-esque detective.
Yeah, that's when him talking over
right.
like narrating his own story.
Yeah.
It's definitely
what
a
it
film
felt like.
noir, yeah.
And I was excited.
What was
about
that movie?
Which I like
series
that
that
one.
was just out? Perry Mason.
Oh, I love Perry
Yeah.
Mason.
That's based on a TV show.
It was a TV show.
Based
I'm
on
saying
an old
there was
TV
an
show.
old
Oh,
TV show from like the
But
70s.
that's filmed in that same construct.
Yep. And because that's film noir.
Him
Yeah.
narrating it through.
Which I like film noir
Right.
movies and shows.
This
Just
one is
didn't
just
do it
lackluster
for
for
me.
you.
He was in a bad mood.
No, it wasn't. I was like, I was
Yeah.
feeling good. Like I just got back from a jog.
Because
and
you're
I'm
not
like,
drinking anymore.
Ah,
No, I
you didn't have a Celsius.
Drunk animal would have loved
That's
that.
what it is. Maybe.
All right, let's jump into some spoilers. We hit the kind of general thoughts here, but first up, just things you liked. What do we really like about this that we can spoil for the people? Spoiler.
I really like the dialogue and being able to see kind of how the world reacted to the situation that they had. Yeah. They didn't go too in depth in the class issues that will be brought up later, I'm sure, but it's just different people figuring out how to survive. And through the war, everyone went through their own trauma, so it kind of tells a story as to why they are who they are quickly. There's not a lot of backstory. You just have to figure that stuff out as it goes.
Yeah.
Quite frankly, I think that would have been a more interesting story than like how everyone was adapting immediately after like the streets got flooded and everything. I think that would have been and like leading up to the war and everybody getting drafted or what have you. I think that would have been a much more interesting story.
Like right when it happens, you kind of see how people like.
How do you adapt to that?
Right.
Like the resilience. Like now we're at the point where everybody has kind of like become resilient, and you learn that. Okay, well now people have basically become nocturnal. Nobody does anything during the day, and everybody just kind of comes out at night. Like that transition to me would have been more interesting.
Yeah, I mean, there's plenty of room to play in this universe if they wanted to. You know, I mean,
that's not the things we like part. That was the
that could have been.
Yeah.
So what did you like?
Either way, yeah.
I'm all over the place.
I mean, I kind of saw this outcome, but I thought it was neat how she told him when she's talking to the guy not that kills her, but essentially the guy who was going to fill the information out of her. She walks up to him and starts talking to him, knowing that Hugh Jackman's character is going to.
Yeah, that was my favorite part.
That was very interesting. And earlier on, I had texted these guys, and I was like, I kind of have an idea of where I think this might go.
Okay.
You said 20 minutes in.
Yeah.
Did you think the whole thing was a flashback?
No, I did not think that all of it was a
At 20 minutes in, I did. But then at like 25, they said it was just a flashback.
Well, that I thought was like almost overly obvious, just because of how bright some of it was versus how the filming of it really it changes the view of it rather. When he's in the flashbacks, it's super duper fucking bright. Like the scenes are like the vibrancy is higher, and then when he goes the real time, it's dark. Like it's again. I noticed that, and I thought they tried to do that on purpose. So that's not really what I was talking about.
They did, and I think they played it up well because I mean, so much of his experience with May was at dusk. Like she said, that was her favorite time of day and everything. So they were outside and doing things as opposed to like in present day or whatever. They were out at night. Right.
I like that I didn't guess the end. Like after you said you think you guessed it, and I was like, oh man, it's gonna be. But then I'm sitting here thinking the whole movie it's kind of hinting that she's just like she's gonna be the one that screwed him over, and it turns out that she wasn't. And I like that about the movie. Like I didn't.
She still did though. I mean, she tried to redeem it, but she still.
There's one of those things where it's like you get sent on a mission, right, or whatever, and then you end up falling for the person or whatever. They think of Casino Royale. It's happened as Casino Royale. You know, it sucks.
But she did screw him over by not telling him.
She tried. I guess more so I didn't see her as the ultimate bad guy. Right. You know what I mean? Like that's what I mean. Like it wasn't her whole thing. It was like she was trying to get out of a situation herself, and ended up being almost like not a victim herself, but she kind of was. And then she did what she could.
She became the damsel. Almost.
A little, and then, but she ultimately helped him
save the kid.
Yeah, which I appreciate that.
But I'll give you that. I thought for sure she was going to be the super villain that it was her. She was
which would have been cool. Which would have been cool too. That would have been cool too.
That's what I was hoping.
I would have thought she was the puppet master, the guy with his face burned and everything. I thought she was the one orchestrating everything. He was a terrible villain.
Yeah.
I just wasn't none of them were particularly interesting.
No.
Move on. Dislikes? You guys ready? Or you got something else for likes?
No. I mean, I thought that. Yeah. I mean, I thought that her talking to him in the.
I love that part too.
In the memory was really neat.
I love that part too.
Knowing that when she said his name there, Dan was going to get her killed. Or.
Yeah. When the guy is totally enamored by what she's doing.
I mean, she almost had him.
Yeah.
Like he probably would have let her go if she would have said his name and she might have got out of there.
Yep.
But.
It wasn't until she said
Nick. It was that convicting.
Who the hell is Nick?
You bitch.
Yeah. Dislikes?
The rest of it?
I don't like that.
Wow.
I'm just kidding. That's not fair.
No, sounds like how you feel. So
well, and like even at the end, again, we're in spoilers now. I don't know how I feel about his ending. Like that's. I mean, to be fair, the clues were there because he says something earlier that the past can consume you, and if you get like it's its own version of a drug or however he says, and that's what happens to him. He just gets sucked into this, and that's how his life played out. But I don't know how I feel about that.
That was because instead of going to jail, right? Like that, yeah. So,
but he also confessed to it on purpose. So it's like he wanted it.
And then on top of that, he also, I mean, not just confessed, but he also took down that Baron or whatever for doing what he did.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
So it was the fact that he confessed, obviously, and he, again, he was similar to her. Like he was doing dirt and then kind of came clean, and at the same time also solved a backdoor murder.
Yeah,
he cut a deal.
Yeah.
One thing I really didn't like is how Hugh Jackman's character seemed like a real pansy. Is the best way to put it.
Yeah.
I was expecting more of a badass out of him
Because of Wolverine.
in the whole movie. Well, no, he was also he was a war vet.
Yeah.
He's in good shape. He's got an angry face.
Yeah, he wasn't shit
the
without
whole
Watts.
the whole movie, he just put the pussy on the pedestal.
He goes,
Legit, like she left you, bro.
He goes
Get
up.
over it.
He goes up
It's not
that club like a bitch
story.
too, and then gets bodied. And if it wasn't for her, he's dead there.
Right. It just wasn't intriguing enough of a story for me to be doing all that.
You almost question what character is he supposed to be. Like what is his role in this? Like he wasn't the masculine dominant character.
Yeah.
He wasn't again I'll use the damn. He was a bunch of different characters. I guess.
I don't know what archetype he
fit
into.
Exactly.
What
If he just had one thing, like if he was just a really good fighter,
right.
fine. One thing, but he just had nothing.
No, he didn't.
Which is
He had no great character.
He was an okay fighter.
Of course. He had no great characteristic in it. And I can see where you can see some of it is dull because you don't really get the most of any of the characters, I guess. You don't really get to see the...
Nobody had like a lot of range
in what
they were doing.
Right. They cap everybody by a bunch of stories.
Like, and there was even one like sub-storyline that I was like, oh, if they fleshed this out, it would be interesting. Like, do you remember when May, in that flashback, was talking to Thandiwe Newton and she makes a comment about like, there's more reasons why you're staying or something like that. I'm like, okay, so does she love Nick? What's the deal? Like, flesh that out a little bit. But they just moved on and didn't mention it again. And at the end,
bitches got drunk and let her steal our shit.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden it was just, at the end I was like, you're my best friend. I'm like, really?
No, she loved him.
Well, that's what I'm saying, but they didn't flesh it out. Like, they could have...
I didn't realize what I missed this whole time or something like that.
Yeah.
Well, but like the whole time I knew... She loved him, and I didn't like how he treated her in the movie. Like once he got really into, I was like, bro, you got like this girl left you.
Yeah, he's not a good person either.
Yeah,
There's no redeeming qualities really about him.
Yeah.
I didn't understand
persistence.
I didn't understand the memory cards. What was the purpose of those? Because there was a whole bunch for everybody, and he literally could make anybody go in any direction he wanted. It wasn't until the end of the movie that I really thought about that, because he had like different memories for people. But once he got in there, he could direct you to go to any part of your life.
Yeah.
Why have those memories when he literally just could talk to people? You remember a time. You remember this. I didn't see a need for those memory sticks.
It was record keeping, good record keeping.
Well, they needed it for the plot of the story.
I mean, I understand the plot of the story, but they literally make no sense in anything because when he goes under, he doesn't have any direct memory. He's just all his memories. But when they find the drug lord's buddy, he's dead. They don't have any of his memory sticks. They just bring him under. He tells them where to go. When he finds the bad guy at the end, they take him under there. He finds out where she is, and then immediately takes him to some other memory. Like it's not like he's loading all them in there.
Well, but they also remember Watts tried to give the memory card to what was her name?
Yeah,
the mistress.
The girl
no,
in
the
the beginning
mistress.
of the movie.
Oh
yeah, like he was like, I'm tired of seeing his
I
pants
didn't
or whatever.
remember
Gonna
that.
take it home. So
She said no.
Which I'm like, okay, so maybe the idea is like, if anybody can buy this little machine and go home and like relive a memory that's already been like
maybe you don't need somebody to narrate it. You can just
maybe the narration is like for a new memory. I don't know.
Or the narration part alone is that's so somebody can redirect or take you to a different place. Maybe, yeah. That was the only part I didn't get.
But they were mapping different. Like if you looked at it, you saw them like mapping different paths in the brain or something.
Yeah.
It would have been cool if they could remember dreams.
I wish that they
and
could.
You could relive.
I wish that they
anything
could
you
have
want.
affected them. That would have been neat.
Well, they kind of could, because if they said something that like went
No. That affect their current state. I'm saying if they could have been like, like in the memory, you know how he walks through the little thing and then he puts his face where Homeboy's face is, or whatever. Like if he could have, smacked the shit out of her or something like that.
That would have been Inception.
Yeah. No, but that was current though. Inception was moment in time. Memory.
Yeah.
Not memory. That's the moment. That's not really memory. That's where you're exactly what you're.
That's where you're dreaming.
Yes.
That's dream
That's
state.
dream
not
state.
state.
This is memory. This is something that's happened before. So you're.
But not
you're
in
using
your situation.
You're using
your situation,
no.
if you alter it, it hasn't happened before.
You're using the past to affect the current. Yeah, you are changing the past.
Huh.
Yeah, almost. I thought that
That's
would
what
have been.
Inception was.
Yeah.
Inception was like going into somebody's dream to affect the future.
But the dream is current though.
They're currently dreaming.
Right. Yes, right now.
Yeah.
Those people's memories
Have already happened.
right.
Yeah.
So you would affect them all the way up to the point that they are right there. So if they're laying in that tank and you would have done something, if you would have found her keys, she never would have came. You'd have picked her keys up and put them on the table. She never would have came in the room.
I don't think.
She never would have came there, so it could have affected that ripple effect.
That's a butterfly effect.
Butterfly, like the movie Butterfly Effect.
Just they wake up and they're like a different person.
Yeah, right. Because
Yeah.
you're remembering something different.
That was my hope in it. I was like, okay, maybe he's going to be able to go and look into her memory. I was hoping that it went that direction. Maybe he could have went into her memory and had her tell him or leave the earring someplace where he knows that she would have saw it, or pulled himself out of that dream a little bit earlier, that memory a little bit earlier, so he's seen her at the front door. And then the whole thing, movie works backwards and changes the ending.
Interesting. Okay.
That's where
I hadn't thought about that, but I
That's
think
just
that
what I
would have
read.
made me like it more. But I'll be honest, this discussion's making me like the movie less because these are all great concepts. These are concepts that I think they really could have parsed out a little bit more and would have made it more of an interesting story.
Well, like I said, man.
And to me now it just feels like more of a big swing and a miss.
But like I said, that memory thing is just like a side note to a story, in my opinion. It's not really even the focal point of the story.
Yeah, it's about
It's
adultery.
just the mystery.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Yeah. You see it?
It's like
Funny you say
doing
that.
a hero movie in space, like rescuing Cinderella from her castle and then calling it Star Wars or something.
It's kind of what happens.
well,
Some
Star
close.
Wars is like
That's
a
kind of
retelling of the
what
fall
Star
of the
Wars
Roman
was.
Empire.
Just in general, just remake stories in different settings. Is essentially all it is.
Well, I mean,
Okay.
they're all of them. Star Wars is George Lucas's interpretation of the fall of the Roman Empire. Lord of the Rings is J.R.R. Tolkien's interpretation of the Passion of the Christ. They're all a story that they've just set in a fictional world.
Interesting.
Okay. You want to move on? Lines? Favorite lines? Scenes? You got anything else for dislikes?
No, I'm good with dislikes.
Okay.
I actually didn't have many dislikes.
Yeah, I mean it's. I think for me, it's more about all this stuff that we're talking about. Things that could have been done differently. I think a little bit here and there.
With this situation, there's probably a billion different things you could have done.
Yeah. So there was a line I liked that Nick says. I forget what it is, or like when it is. I don't forget what the line is. I know the line. I wrote the line down, but I forget when it is in the movie. But I think it might have been early on, and he's talking about memories and how it's not good to get too consumed by them or whatever, or live because you can get stuck in that moment. And he says, memories are like perfume, better in small doses. I thought that was a good line.
That was a good line.
Yeah.
That was a good
Because it's true. Like, you start... I mean, look at people that just sit at the bar and relive their glory days.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I thought it was a good comparison.
Yeah, I didn't have a favorite line.
Okay.
I liked the line he said the first time, but then he said it 3 times throughout the movie, and I was like...
All right, we get
said
it.
enough.
See?
Like, stories don't have good endings.
Oh, yeah.
Especially good.
Which they didn't tell the end of the Orpheus story, which was kind of the whole point of that scene. But
yeah,
because in the end, in that myth, they don't wind up together. Remember, she said, "Stop it in the middle." Well, in the middle of the story, he's leading her out of hell. The end of the story is he makes it out of hell, but she hasn't yet, and he looks back at her, and part of the deal was she also had to be out of hell, and so they wind up in hell forever, or she has to go back to hell forever because he didn't wait until she was out. So that was the whole point.
Some depressing shit, man.
It is, but that's why, like she said, tell me a happy story and end it in the middle. And so he told her a story, not particularly a happy story, but he ended it in the middle, so it's a happy story.
Okay. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, Chris. I thought you said you didn't have a line. I was going to say, well, then give us a scene.
Oh, that was a line. But
yeah.
Overall, I don't have a scene, but I really did like May's character.
Okay.
The girl from Westworld. I feel like
is that May?
Yeah.
No, that's Watts.
Watts, that's it.
Thandiwe Newton.
She plays the battered drunken woman really well, and that's kind of who
She does it in Westworld.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's
Just like you can tell she's been through
always
a lot.
crying. She's always
And she portrays it well, like a strong cry though, not like a sad cry.
Yeah, once she gets all her powers and realizes she turns off all her attributes in Westworld, she dominates that.
Oh yeah, I stopped watching Westworld.
It gets what?
She gets a hold of the tablet and she throws all of her shit out.
Good for her.
I like this line from May at the beginning. She says, "Don't say always makes promises you can't keep."
Yeah.
I thought that was a really cool line.
I like her character, May. I liked her character a lot.
She was interesting.
Yeah. Do you have a line that you wrote down?
There are actually two that I wrote down that I was like, okay, it's a good line. The first is like
The end.
No, in the opening where he's narrating, Nick says, "Memory is the boat that sails against its current."
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, I can think about that for a minute. All right. And then later, I can't remember if it was Watts or Nick, but one of the two of them says, "You can't remember something that never made an impression." Because remember, he's talking like when she's trying to find the keys, and I'm like, that's true. Like if something doesn't convert from short-term to long-term memory, Nick says it. Okay, and it was one of the two of them.
Yeah,
which is true. Like anything important, your brain will convert from short to long-term memory.
Just something you lost or something you misplaced.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And that distinction, I was like, okay, that's
pretty smart. Yeah. I mean, the people that created this movie, the woman that created this movie, she's again one half of Westworld, which is a genius show.
It's crazy.
It just gets. Westworld has gotten at this point too crazy.
Yeah, the first season was great.
First season, like unreal. Yeah. It just gets as they've gotten.
You guys didn't like Tenet either, though, right?
I enjoy Tenet. Like Chris and I
didn't like it.
How much you have to think about the show is similar to Tenet to me. Like,
yeah,
you really have to like take your time with it.
Well, that and I've watched Tenet. I've watched Tenet multiple times now.
Yeah,
so
I'm
like,
not, really. I feel like I have the mental capacity.
I'm not saying you don't
grasp it. It just doesn't.
Yeah,
it's not interesting. Yeah,
and that's what I was getting at with Westworld. Like I
didn't see Westworld past the first season, but Tenet.
Yeah.
The second season isn't terrible. The third one is like.
Yeah, they took season 1, which was amazing. Then took season 2, tried to do more of season 1, but did too much of it, and it got too. And then the third season, it's like, where are we at? I don't even want to be here. I don't want to be outside of Westworld. I want to be in Westworld. That's the whole.
Just call it the world.
Yeah. Okay, so and then as far as like directors, did everybody get lines? We all did lines, right?
Yep.
Directors that we kind of, unless
one thing I really want to see happen.
Yeah,
I wanted at the end of the movie, I wanted May to still be alive, and I wanted her to be benefiting from the orphan child's new wealth. I wanted her to be like the adopted mom of this new billionaire,
overdose on vodka.
And now she's just like super rich because of what this whole scheme she cooked up for herself. I would have really appreciated that as
I think an interesting twist would have been if she was the supervillain and so was Nick, that like they had cooked up this plot as revenge for whatever she was out to get revenge for, and that he was in on the scheme and he was playing along all the time, and at the end they just make off with their billions and they're just like super rich.
And he could
so she doesn't die and he doesn't have to get in
and
he could have known
like
too,
that would have been an interesting twist to me, but it would have given him some depth that like we never got.
He could have known too because he was in the one Baron's head at some point earlier on, and he also essentially trapped her in that one memory. So he definitely could have known about the estranged child and been just setting it up the whole time.
And he could have told her about like, hey, this is my favorite song.
Right.
You should sing this, and you know, like he could have teed all that.
Use his druggy buddy as a reference to find her when she was using. There's a lot of options there. They definitely could have wrote that in.
Yeah. Yep. Scores? Everybody ready?
Yeah.
Scores?
Yeah.
I'll go first. A 6.1. I was teetering. It's 5.9, 6.1. I'm just gonna go 6.1. It doesn't matter. Either way you round it, it's a 6. You know, I'm just whatever. Yeah.
Cheers.
That might be one of the best energies I've ever heard. Oh god damn, that was good. Hey, you just killed it. Shit.
White Claw. I have another one back here somewhere.
God damn.
I'm gonna go 7.5.
Okay.
I did really enjoy it. I thought it was a good watch.
Yep.
So I'm right over that 7 line. I'll go 7.1 because I think it's right in that range. Like I hate the 7s. I like the movie and I would probably tell people to watch it just because of this exact setting. Like movies are gonna start rating higher for me because it's very interesting to see how you don't like it. And like last week, we actually joked around and didn't like a movie, and he did like it. And how you just said, I wanted to bring it up. Like you said that the more we talked about possible outcomes, the less you liked it. But the more we talked about that movie last time, and he gave me a little bit of insight about it, I actually raised my score a little bit because I knew more about the movie. Yeah,
different perspective.
Yeah, it's interesting. That's we talk about I always talk about the serial killers, but it's weird how people can watch the exact same thing in completely different perspectives.
And when you put yourself in the mind of somebody else, you can understand where they're coming from, and when you can do that, you can appreciate.
Right, like I don't disagree with anybody's opinion on any of the movies. Yeah. I can see everybody's perspective. It's just neat, so I like that. I could tell people to watch this. I thought it was neat.
Yeah,
I like it. I think more people will like it than not like it.
The Green Knight, or are you talking about this?
This Green Knight.
Stop with the Green Knight.
I knew what he was talking about.
Yeah, but I love The King. I will say that. Not to circle back to that. I didn't see
The King was very good.
Adam was a big fan of Henry V.
Yeah, well, because you're all going to judge me, but Shakespeare has a Henry V play that I've seen and performed in, and everything. So like I knew that whole story. The King was basically a retelling of that. So like I knew about the Battle of Agincourt and this and the other. So
did it make the French prince crazy?
No, he's much more of like a spoiled brat in that one. Not crazy, just like a
because he is
trying
a
to prove
little
himself to
off
daddy
in the
kind of thing.
You talking about Robert Pattinson's character?
Yeah, the Dauphin.
The Dauphin, yeah.
Did you finish The King? You actually watched it? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, because they make him a little.
Yeah. I will say I do think the Kenneth Branagh Henry V is better than The King, and like the speech he gives at the end. You know the phrase. The phrase. Well, the phrase "Band of Brothers" comes from the Henry V Shakespeare play. Okay. Like at the end when Henry is giving that speech, trying to amp everybody up. In the Shakespeare movie, that's where that's part of that speech. He's like, "We few, we happy few, we band of brothers." So anyhow, not to go. Sorry to go off on a tangent.
No, it's cool. Score. No, it's good. I said we would touch on it. Yeah.
We're moving pretty quick. We're moving pretty quick.
Yeah, I think so.
But that score.
Not to cut you off. I'll tell you what to do. We're gonna give me some score. Thanks for coming on.
Shut your mouth. Shut your mouth.
Shh. I helped put a whole bag of shit with your name on it.
Oh, the tangent afterwards. Good.
I'm gonna give it a 3.1.
Okay.
Yikes.
That's like the standard for these movies that like people don't like because
I'm telling you, if it wasn't for coming on this show tonight, I'd have turned it off. I didn't care.
Same thing I said.
I would have like Googled like, what happened.
Did you watch The Green Knight?
No.
Okay,
no,
so watch it and tell me what you think. I gave it that exact score.
All right.
But I didn't know.
I don't know. Maybe you didn't like some of the stuff you were talking about. This doesn't sound.
I don't know anything about the. I didn't know anything about the play or the poem that it was written. So I didn't have the insight. And again, as he was telling me about it, if I knew more, maybe some of it makes sense. But God, I'm like.
I hear you, but hearing some of the things look, I like Arthurian mythology and I like all that medieval England and before, but. The stuff you were talking about, how like they'll just include these shots that have nothing to do with anything. To me, that takes me out of the experience.
Why?
Like,
what is it for?
If you're gonna have something like that, make it relevant.
Right. Yes.
Like, make it like a clue for something that happens.
Are we doing this? Are we gonna?
I didn't bring it up.
You're sorry.
I didn't bring it up. Hey, and drink. I didn't bring this. I didn't bring it up. But if you're gonna ask me, I'm gonna tell you.
Score.
You really have to watch the movie.
I mean, definitely. I'm not. Again,
no. I want to hear what you
hate it. I've never put it in there. Would recommend, but I recommend any movie because I'm very curious to see what people think of.
Would recommend and recommend is different.
Yeah. We've said that a lot, haven't we? I mean, like,
I'm thinking of ending things. We recommend people to see it
because we want to know.
We're not the only ones.
Yeah.
How is it that people like this movie?
It's got.
Please tell me what it is about it that you like.
Yeah.
Because I'm curious. Maybe I missed something huge.
So I saw this video
on
YouTube
in the comments.
today. I saw the thumbnail. I forget what the channel is, but it's like. 10 things you missed in The Green Knight. And I haven't watched it yet, but I put it in my watch later.
Brightness.
So I'm going to watch it. And if it's good, I'm sending it to you guys.
Okay.
All right, so you guys want to jump into this draft? Because that's what I'm like super excited for.
Sure.
Yeah. I've been preparing all week for this.
So we're doing another Ultimate Blockbuster Night, a Westerns edition. There's his choices right there.
King is here.
It's going to be interesting with 4. We have not done 4 yet, so movies are going to go quick. So this is
there's a lot.
It's like 100 westerns plus if somebody thinks of one that's not on the list, whatever.
Speaking of westerns, real quick, I heard this fun
big
fact.
one.
I heard this.
Write it down. What is it? What did I forget?
No, don't put it down. Your advantage.
Yeah.
In Tombstone, which I'm not going to get because I'm picking fourth now. Whatever. They set this up because I don't know many westerns. They lost.
Set this up. We drew up here.
No.
It set this up.
I've won all three of them, and now they're like, let's do a category Chris doesn't know anything about. That'll show him.
Well, John.
And let's bring a genius on. He knows all of them by heart, probably.
John just responded first. I said westerns or comedies. John said westerns. That was it.
Terrible pick. Comedy.
Like old movies.
So
I do too, bro.
In Tombstone, there's a very famous line by Val Kilmer. He says, "I'm your Huckleberry."
Yep.
And I read somewhere, and I didn't fact check it, but back then they didn't call the people that carried your casket pallbearers. They called them hucklebearers. And the line was supposed to be, "I'm your hucklebearer." Like, I'll carry your coffin.
Huh.
Which makes it relevant because no one knows what huckleberry means. But he said it wrong, and it just became huge.
That's funny.
I'm
So
your huckleberry.
I'm your huckleberry. It was a huge line.
What is a huckleberry? Does anybody know what a huckleberry is?
I guess it's a type of berry.
It's a berry.
Yeah.
But
Does it
it's
come from a huckle plant? I don't know.
right. It's supposed to be hucklebearer.
Huckleberry.
It's just a bunch of different plants. Son. So I started typing in what is a huckleberry. First was what is a huckleberry. Second was what is a hucklebearer.
There you go. Because it's listening to you.
Yeah.
It heard what you were just talking about.
It's
and
gross that it knows.
It's always listening.
Yeah, that's pretty
Like
funny.
Alright, so we got to move order.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Ben got first.
I got number 1, Adam got number 2, John is third, and Chris is last.
Yeah. So we'll say.
I'm very excited for this. I love westerns.
Yeah.
Yeah. When you said westerns, I was like, who the fuck's this guy been talking to?
Well, didn't Sean suggest westerns as well? I feel like
No,
somebody
Sean suggested
war movies. Ah, okay.
which I cannot wait for.
Yeah, we gotta have Sean on.
I
We'll do that, yeah,
I
for
want
sure.
a war movie.
All right.
Oh.
So are we ready, guys?
Let's do it.
Show.
All right. So my number 1 choice is my all-time favorite western movie. Okay. The Wild Bunch.
That's a good one.
Never heard
You
of
seen it?
That's a good one.
Oh yes.
Never
John.
heard of it. You're in trouble.
Yeah, no, but most people outside of me and John probably haven't seen it. It's great, and I'm telling you, it's like
69. Giggity.
1969, and it's about these like aging outlaws, like at the turn of the century. So where like the West is dying, they're like at the end of their row. It's incredible. It's a great movie. Yeah, great movie.
Solid choice. Solid.
Yep.
Strong first pick.
Yep, thank you.
Me?
Somebody
Tombstone.
It is. That's a good choice.
Yeah. Chris knew immediately when he didn't get the number 1 pick. He wasn't.
Well, no, actually, I thought if he was 1 and I was 2, I'd still have a chance.
Oh, okay.
I didn't know if you.
Okay.
Well, it's one of those.
Smart pick.
No, I can get into it later, but it's one that I'm like, if I'm having a blockbuster night with westerns, I want that movie as part of the night.
Give me to Django.
Unchained?
Yep.
Interesting first pick.
That is an interesting
All
first
right.
pick.
I'm gonna go Young Guns,
Okay.
Okay.
Original
Which
or
one?
sequel?
the original,
Okay.
and shit. I'm gonna go American Outlaw.
Okay. Have you seen Young Guns recently?
No.
No.
So, dude, I watched it like within the last year or two, and I was like, man, this movie is corny. It felt so corny to me. Like, and I grew up loving that movie. And I watched it again, and I
Promise
was
you don't try to talk the viewers out of my choices.
sorry, dude. Sorry, dude. I won't. I apologize. That is not what that was about.
Yeah, dude. God.
I'm trying to get an edge here.
Hey,
I'm tired of Chris. Trying to
Chris
Chris
sucks.
things.
Bad choice.
Yeah. Yeah. Sucks.
I want Unforgiven.
Okay.
Never heard of it.
That's one of the ones that people say is like the
I
greatest.
told you have
Western.
to watch it. It's awesome.
Will you forgive me? I don't.
No, never gonna forget.
Is there a reason you don't like or you just don't watch westerns?
Because he's from the East.
Because they're old.
Okay.
A lot of these movies are 2000 and
Yeah.
nowhere.
I heard.
I've seen all those. They're right here.
Do you know why they're
Unforgiven
like
is made while
so?
you're alive.
Yeah.
I heard that they're so expensive to make. Like that's why they don't make them anymore. like because they cost so much money to do a
Horses
big
are expensive.
to do like a big
I was gonna assume it's because the Manson family killed everyone that lived around the western side
Spawn
of
Ranch.
California.
Yeah,
that too.
Government killed the rest.
yeah.
All right, me. Next choice, I'm gonna go with El Dorado.
Solid.
Never heard of it.
That might be
This
my
is
favorite
really going to
Western.
diversify our people.
Our audience.
Yeah.
My next choice is Wyatt Earp. Yep,
I probably watched that twice in the last 2 months.
Wyatt Earp.
Seriously, it's
Dude.
it's on something.
Yeah.
and I've been watching.
I absolutely love that one. Like, and I love Tombstone
Cool
as
ending.
well. But like, I love how much more they go into Wyatt Earp's
Yeah.
life in
Yeah.
that movie. It's more of an epic than Tombstone focuses on
He's a psychopath.
Wyatt Earp.
Wyatt
Yeah,
Earp.
he's crazy.
Yeah. And then my next is 310 to Yuma, the new one. The new one.
Yeah, I think the new one is better. The new one is definitely
That is one, Chris, that I just watched within the last few days.
The new one is
I
definitely
love
better.
it. Porn.
Really?
The new one?
Yeah.
Oh man, I love that
Now I
one.
know why you don't watch westerns.
I-
How was it boring?
Russell Crowe was like
It's on this
so-
list. It's on my list. It wasn't great.
Okay.
All right, me. Next up, I'm gonna go with Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid.
That's a
Oh,
classic
mine
right
were just
there.
gonna sit there.
There's one line from that movie. No matter how many times I watch it, cracks me up. And he's like, "Using up dynamite there, Butch."
Yeah. Yes, indeed.
All right, I'm going 5 of Goes West.
Yes.
I thought that was your number one.
It's his favorite.
It's my favorite of this group.
Okay.
That's not how you pick here because
Smart
if I
moves.
would just my favorite movies, nobody would pick my shit. I've lost twice because of that.
Yeah.
Dude, I'll be honest. I like you said on the show last week. I like a lot of your picks, but like I pick based on what I think should win, not what I think
So
is
I
going
picked
to
with
win.
my heart 2 weeks in a row, and I'm not doing that again. Or 2 times in a row. I'm not doing that anymore. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Hidalgo?
Oh, that's not on here, is it?
No, does it have to be on this list?
Doesn't have to be. It can be Western.
I don't know. I won't fight it.
Yeah, I'm not gonna fight it either. Hidalgo.
And then Maverick.
Maverick is a good one.
Motherfucker! You picked that!
John, look, I got a list. I don't know what to tell you.
Maverick's
Look
a
at
good
this
one.
motherfucker. I said number 1 or 2.
No.
I wrote it there. I was like, I'm gonna walk straight through this list.
I almost picked it like my first pick, but I was like,
God
I'm
damn
scared
it.
that I don't think anyone's gonna pick that.
All right, Dances with Wolves.
Okay.
Never heard of it.
This one that Kevin
He won an Oscar.
movies of all time.
What?
One of his greatest movies that he ever
Yeah, it was his
made.
first time directing, and
No
he won an
big
Oscar
deal.
for it.
I've never seen that movie.
It's good.
That's what I've
It's
heard.
good.
No, I've heard that. I just
It's long, but it's good.
yeah.
All right.
Bitch, I cannot believe you picked Maverick.
All right.
I thought I was riding that shit home,
Yeah,
dude.
Maverick's a
The
good
ending
one.
is so good with them sitting in the tub, him and his
Oh, yeah.
dad. Oh my god, it's such a good. The girl comes and steals his money. Oh, whatever. Great movie.
Oh yeah, definitely. Next up for me, I'm gonna go with The Big Country.
It's my dad's favorite movie, or our dad's favorite movie.
Never heard of it.
It's good. It's
We-
another like 3-hour epic
Hope
western.
Hope he doesn't vote.
5.
You have 2 left? 1 left.
You have
You
one
have
more.
one left.
Damn it.
Yeah. All right, so now here's where I'm torn. This is where I've been struggling because I like when I'm thinking about putting this draft together. It's like if I'm gonna do this and like show people these movies, right? I got the ones that I think are like great. Now it's like, do I want to go modern? Like,
Right there.
No.
do I want to pick a
Right.
modern western,
100% sure.
or do I want to do like still another western
Not sure.
with
No, I already know what it's gonna
with
be.
like a twist?
All right, what is it?
And I'm stuck. I don't know what I want to do.
We have 2 picks.
Well,
right?
tell us what you're between. Right?
You're on the clock.
So I'm stuck between Bone Tomahawk,
Mm-hmm.
okay, or either No Country for Old Men or Hell or High Water.
Oh, damn. That's not what I had.
Yeah.
That's the first one I underlined.
What? No Country for Old Men?
Yep.
It's great. It's so great. So I'm
Auburn
just
Chagrin or whatever the hell his name
Anton
is.
Chigurh.
Anton Chigurh.
Yeah.
He was my villain when we did the
Yeah.
Is anyone gonna go Wild Wild West?
Yeah. I just.
I picked that motherfucker.
Damn it! I'm stuck.
I have it highlighted on it because we're not picking for us. We're picking for them.
I know, and that's
Shout
why.
out Will Smith for
and
taking
that's-
that role
Yeah,
instead of Neo.
Yeah.
It's like regarded
Which
as
they
the
just
worst
announced the
Western.
fourth
What
one.
is?
Apparently the fourth
Oh,
one is
yeah.
The Matrix. Yeah.
Oh no shit.
No, I'm not picking that.
It's
I
called like
think.
The Matrix Resurrection or something like that.
I mean, I'll watch it. They'll probably make $100
man.
million on it.
Damn it! I don't know what to do.
You have 2 picks, babe.
I know, but my last
Between
one.
2 movies.
But my last pick is something.
I don't know what 2 to pick.
So this is the fight for this spot. is
Well, you're
where I'm
only
struggling.
fighting against yourself.
I
Pick
know,
the one
it's
you're going to
crazy.
pick last now, and then fight for the next one.
No, I'm just gonna go. Oh, man, I would
Go with your gut.
My gut is No Country for Old Men. So I'm going to pick No Country for Old Men.
I don't know what that says.
And then my last pick, I want to end with a comedy, and it's going to be The Cowboy Way.
Damn. Is it?
I thought you were going to pick
Who's
a different
that?
comedy.
Woody Harrelson and Kiefer Sutherland.
How's that a Western? Isn't that in New York?
Bro,
I
they're
think it's-
cowboys
yeah.
from New Mexico that go to try to rescue someone. It's totally a Western.
Sounds like a cowboy movie.
A cowboy?
It's a Western.
Yeah.
Like,
That would make it a cowboy.
I don't know, man.
Cowboy movie.
I think that counts.
Okay.
All right.
League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. Got
Wait.
Tom Sawyer.
Wait, no, stop. No way.
Tom Sawyer's not in that movie.
He's cowboy now.
Starsky and Hutch, stay wore cowboy
Yeah,
boots.
he's in that movie. Tom Sawyer's in that movie. He's the American.
Yeah.
There's still a lot of really good movies.
yeah.
Before you go, if you haven't seen Bone Tomahawk, you have to watch it. It's insane.
I thought you were gonna pick the Ballad of Buster Scruggs.
Never seen that movie.
When you say comedy, I
Told
was
you.
like, Three Amigos.
I had a long conversation with somebody. I thought it was
It
you.
was not me. I started it, fell asleep.
Can we not give him any tip? Can we let him pick first?
No, don't pick that.
What?
The Ballad of
Buster
Buster
Scruggs.
Scruggs.
I never saw it. No interest.
All right.
All right, my last pick. I'm going with one of my favorites. I'm also ending on a comedy, and this was actually a contender for me for the movie awards. Blazing
I
Saddles.
knew it. If I could have fucking picked that, I would have.
Good move.
For
Good
you.
pick,
For
good
you.
pick.
That's exactly where I thought
I
you were.
didn't mark it for you.
I'm going Back to the Future 3.
Okay.
Oh, wow. I forgot that was still on the list.
baby! Yeah! Just sitting there chilling.
We are just doing comedies or something?
I don't know.
I
Gotta
don't
pick
know.
one.
Oh, yes, I do.
Yeah, you do.
Shanghai Noon.
Oh, good
Oh,
one.
Actually, it is funny,
I
though.
love that movie.
Yeah.
I cannot believe you didn't go Wild Wild
So
West.
how'd you
I'm
learn-
really surprised you
How'd you
didn't.
learn
I'm
all
a-
that kung fu? He said,
I'm a little.
from my father. You know what that is? Yeah, we have
Right.
fathers that love us. You don't, because you're a little orphan. Like, get out of here.
I'm a little
No,
surprised
listen.
nobody went with The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, or any of the Man with No Name
Yeah.
shows.
Never saw it. Do you have any Quentin Tarantino movies on this?
Django.
Django.
Not Quentin Tarantino. The other guy. The Western guy.
Clint Eastwood.
Clint Eastwood.
Yeah. That's
Yeah,
Unforgiven.
Yeah, Unforgiven.
The Man with No Name trilogy,
Yeah.
so Fistful of Dollars for a few dollars more, and The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. Hang 'em High is a Clint Eastwood movie.
Yeah.
Every one of mine's after 2000.
High Plains Drifter is a
Except for
Clint Eastwood
Maverick.
movie.
I'm so mad you picked Maverick. I cannot believe you picked that.
That's a good pick. That's how you know it's a good pick, because I...
Oh man,
I really
dude.
thought I was gonna walk them all in.
This is exciting. I can't wait to see how this turns out. Honestly.
It's crazy doing this before people, and we really, other than Maverick, like I feel like nobody really stepped on each other's toes.
I got
No,
every
bullshit.
movie
My
on my-
first one was Tombstone. My second one was Django.
Oh,
Yeah.
there's
Oh,
no
you
way.
could've
There's
gone
no
to
way.
like Hateful Eight?
There was no
And
way.
you wanted Butch
I
Cassidy.
did,
Yeah,
but
I did. That I
like
did
that
want.
one.
That I
Not
did
even on
want.
my list.
Yeah.
The only other ones I have
This
written
movie,
down.
the
is
Joe's
Magnificent
Assassination
Seven.
of Jesse James.
The new
That
one?
movie
Yeah.
is decent. It's just really slow.
True Grit, the new one.
I just watched that recently
It's
too.
alright, man.
That was so my third.
It's okay.
My third picks were between 310 and True Grit.
I think 3
I
times
like
definitely better.
Yeah. After watching them,
Yeah.
I felt so too. The story between
Yeah.
Christian Bale's character and his kid, and
Have you seen the Assassination of Jesse James?
great movie.
Yeah, it's just you know how you like the King. I mean, it's slow as like it's a lot of character build. There's a lot of the ending makes the rest of it like if you watch it all the way through, you're like, okay, I now am okay with the fact that I just sat and watched this kind of like monotone movie up to this point, but then you're like, whoa.
But nobody's seen it.
No. Once again,
Yeah.
I couldn't pick that because the same reason I picked, and I honestly could have picked Wild Wild West because I've watched that movie 100 times.
Yeah.
And I might have watched Back to the Future 3 10 times, but we're not doing this for us.
Yeah.
There's other movies on here. The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly for me would have been an easy number 2.
Yeah.
I'm pissed about Maverick because I know people have seen that, but like a lot of people are not going to have not seen. A lot of people haven't seen Unforgiven. and it's
Maverick might
probably
be
one
my
of the
favorite
greatest westerns of all time.
Can I give honorable mention to the movie Shane that I just today saw for the first time ever?
Shane.
Can I
It's
give
from
honorable mention to our
1953.
fan Shane?
It's on Hulu right now.
Okay.
Shane,
Save it.
it, like I had heard about, and in The Negotiator, they talk about that movie.
Okay.
When Samuel L. Jackson and Kevin Spacey are first on the phone with each other, they're talking about the ending. But so it's the first time I had ever seen it. Admittedly, it holds up in my opinion. Like to me, it was definitely like a genre-defining movie from 1953. It's 2 hours. It was a quick watch, but I think it holds up. It was very much what you would expect from quick draw and horses and out in Wyoming on ranches. So definitely, if you haven't seen it and you like westerns, give Shane a try.
Yeah, dude, that's the one thing that almost like a good line and a good shootout in a western is like and that was the thing with at the end of the remake of True Grit when Jeff Bridges he had told the story about holding the reins between his teeth and drawing and shooting, and he does it and he says, "Fill your hand, you son of a bitch," and then just rides at him. Man, I love that part. That was I got hype watching that.
Well, I will say, in Shane says if you're good enough, one gun is all you need.
Okay.
Is Boys in the Hood a western?
No.
Close.
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 It's West Coast gunfights.
Yeah, man. These are good. Listen, I don't expect to win.
So I was torn between you and Blazing Saddles and that, but I remember we talked about Blazing Saddles when you said your comedy. Was it two gun stock? What was it?
Lock, stock.
Lock, stock.
Yeah.
When we talked about that, we talked about Blazing Saddles that same day.
It's so good.
I'm sorry.
Well, it's again, like I always say, it's the kind of movie like comedy. Instead of worrying about offending everybody, you should try to offend everybody.
Yeah.
And that's what Blazing Saddles does. He tries to offend every group you can think of.
I can't be racist if I talk shit about
everyone in that movie. So it's just, and my friends.
It's kind of like that's the same reason I think South Park and Family Guy and those can still be on air because it's like you can't say that they don't like any particular anything because they make fun of everyone.
Well, that's what always blows my mind is how was a generation that was raised on South Park, Family Guy, The Simpsons,
soft,
and that how are they offended by everything?
Soft.
How could you be offended by
because we are that generation. It's the people that are 18 to 25 right now that are soft as hell.
It's weird because I guess we grew up where it was just starting to happen, and as it happened, we were excited to see something new. Like, oh my god, are you saying that? It's funny. And then they grew up and hearing it all the time. Like, all right, we get it. You're racist.
I guess
maybe.
I can see
perspective, man. I'm telling you, it matters.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Snowball to avalanche stuff.
All right, well that's it, guys.
You were gonna pick Brokeback Mountain. I swore you were gonna pick Brokeback.
I have that highlighted on here. I have that wherever my paper is. I had that shit highlighted.
I think you threw it away.
I had that highlighted as well. It's on the. If you go to IMDb, it's way up there.
People love that movie.
Yeah.
It's a new generation.
Especially nowadays, I'm sure a bunch of people like that.
Anyway, that's
it.
it. The teams are set. Okay, that's it. So vote, please vote. It'll be out before the episode. Now it's going to come out tonight. I'm putting the picture out tonight.
That's smart because of the way you did it before was not very intelligent.
It doesn't matter.
It didn't matter. Well,
it does because
a lot more people vote on the pictures than watch.
Than even watch the episodes. Yeah.
That's why I picked the movie I picked first instead of.
Well, that didn't work out when we did Samuel L. Jackson. I picked Django first and did I
picked The Time to Kill. That Samuel L. Jackson does that was so solid. And you picked Avengers, which is in for 40 seconds.
Hey, grow up.
It's an IMDb credit.
So next week we're gonna do. We got a special event coming up next week. We're gonna do a little contest again. So in the spirit of that contest, we're going to be reviewing The Guardian. Kevin Costner, Ashton Kutcher, right?
Oh, yeah.
Dances with Wolves.
So we got a little contest to go along with it. And then we will also be recapping the results of this. So yeah, that's it.
The contest, well, I guess you want to talk about it in the next episode?
When we debut what it is, we'll tell everyone what they have to do to try to win the item.
Well, you didn't say that part. There's something you can win.
Okay.
It's not just a contest. There's an actual item. And
it's a prize.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I think so.
Surprise.
Yeah.
Surprise, mother.
We doing shots or no?
Yeah, sure.
All right, we're gonna do a shot. Shot o'clock. You doing a shot or you?
I said
no, I'm
you're
good.
drunk tonight.
Good.
I'm gonna pass.
You're gonna
pass on the shot. But thank you.
All right.
What do you guys bring?
Oh.
Look at that shock face again. Look at it.
There's so much alcohol here.
Every single week, same shit.
Why'd you look at me when you said it?
Because he don't even bring his own booze.
That tequila sounded pretty awesome the way you were describing.
I brought Norman's. You want some? Yeah, give him some.
Look at his mouth with water.
I love tequila.
This is awesome tequila.
All right, fine.
I didn't know we were doing that.
Screw it.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, I don't care.
No,
I read a thing on Facebook. I read a thing on Facebook today.
I'm not. This is
and
very
it said,
I love tequila.
I hate that I live in a world where Jessica Biel won't name her kid Batman. And I thought I needed that.
That's good.
And Justin Timberlake
I'll tell
reshared
you
it.
what.
Justin Timberlake reshared it and went, damn. She should.
Bad.
Oh, that's good, man. That's
Right?
good. Wow.
So
John,
I don't know if you
I'll
saw
have
the
a bottle
episode
for
or
you
not.
next
The
episode,
logistics
man.
of getting this was a pain,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it's very, very good. If you want to get it, it's from San Diego.
Do they have it at El Guapo? They got like 300 tequilas.
They
in
do
there.
not have this there. I asked last time we went. It's really, really hard to get over here. They're starting to have more and more of it over here. But to get it here, they only send a few bottles at a time.
All right.
Our esteemed guests.
You gonna be mad if
Yeah.
you ate it?
Cheers. No, I've never met a tequila.
Shout out that Breezy didn't get to pick tunes.
Yeah. Salud y plata.
Salud y plata.
Real talk for real movies, yeah, we'll listen. Real life on real hype, you feel different. Underrated, appreciated, or barely made it. You let us know at Law Bay, yeah, you really hate it. The Christmas life in the past, you got it going better. And like Jesse did it short, baby, go better. It's real
Leave
talk, no
comments, tell us what you
theoretical,
thought.
though it ain't
Share the
invisible,
video.
man. It's
Thank you.
undependable, damn. You can't see him if it's dark or bright. Ask Chris with his Miller Lite. Or Blockbuster, it's so good, right? Candyman or Tony Dodd or Holy God. I mean the devil all the time, or at least a lot. Apocalypto, go against the grain like your boy Adam, who drink Jack like Jungle Land and Nick Mullins. Educators, tell us what you know about him. Is it bad or good like Peanut Butter Falcon? Special guests like Danny D and Dave Ron. Let us look to the future, event horizon. In real life, the movie will never stop. Till it does, we drop, and there's no getting up. Until then, subscribe and they let you know the tops. Only way to know for sure is to watch. So shut up and drink your pops, your soda and corn pops, and listen to the real life movie talk. Movie talk. I'm isolated like the lady in black, and I seek revenge for these movies that whack.
You doing the episode from over there?
No, I'm gonna go through and do some of these movies I want to do for the.
Hey, go ahead, take your time, man.
Yeah.
We ready?
Yeah.
You didn't have a few operators?
Y'all need to go over there and hit record.
Nah, but I'm good, man. I'll get them as I go.